4Ks. I'm not trying to keep y'all for too long because it's almost my bedtime. Wipe you off real quick. You just a little fuzzy. Okay, so we had a new moon on the 18th. I was asleep. I slept for like 2 days. I catch up with myself, and now I'm trying to catch up with myself again because I fell behind in a lot of different things in pursuit of I was being burned out, being tired. I don't know. Oh my god. But slowly but surely I am catching back up with myself. I don't know how y'all feeling, how the new boo made y'all feel, how y'all brought it in. I definitely brought it in. Definitely treating myself the way I deserve to be treated. Doing the things that I wanted to do. Finally brought some things that I've been trying to manifest for a while into fruition. It was a very great weekend. You know, hopefully you guys brought the weekend right. This is actually the last lunar cycle of the year of the snake, y'all. So, use these last 28 days to, keep moving in your transformations. Transformation still happening. This is the last hurrah. Hey, how you doing? This is the last hurrah for this lunar cycle. Some things that you guys keep overlooking in people, places, things, situation, ideas, stuff that's supposed to be transforming around you. I'm glad you're doing fine, love. What you been up to? How is this new moon treating you? Let them things run this course. People gonna start shedding their skin, and you've been ignoring it all 365. So yeah, use this last lunar cycle to come to terms and come to acceptance that certain people, places, things, situations, ideas, friendships, and stuff like that have run their course, and it's time to just go and shut that door on that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep shedding their skin, and honestly, during the year of the horse, you're probably gonna end up trampling all over them things anyway, because the year of the horse is all about taking action. You know what I'm saying? So, you go ahead and keep the snakes in your grass if you want to. You're gonna start running over them, and it'll probably be more by the time we get to the fire horse is very fast. New place, new peace. Same here. New place, new peace, new state, new job. Who this? New number. Okay. we new over here. It's new on the new shit. You hear me? I'm very happy for you. That's what it's all about. Transformations. I'm glad you did get a new place though. I'm very happy for you. You do deserve your peace, love. And so yeah, you guys go ahead and let them snakes stay in your grass. You're going to end up trampling over them. We have been in this year of the wood snake, so slow and steady, with the transformations. Sometimes the transformations were painstakingly slow. Wisdom, charm, elegance, being strategic and manipulative, and all those different things was on the forefront, seeing how people are using each other, and if that's how you want to be used or that's not how you want to be used, whatever, what have you. Those are certain realizations we had to come to. You know what I'm saying? And so when you come into the horse, if you want to keep the snakes in your grass, this is the fire horse. So a lot of things are going to end abruptly, like fire. Fire just and you're out of here, buddy. So we might have let you slide around in the grass for a long period of time, but the fire horse ain't gonna put up with it, not even a little bit. I'm dealing with the pain and finances. Same here. Same here. Saying pain and finances. I stopped smoking weed, so I social smoke now. It's not an everyday thing. So definitely been sitting in the pain, learning how to deal with it, and realizing that a lot of the pain has to do with diet and stress. When I'm very stressed out, it's like my leg has become my antenna, if you will. And if I'm too stressed out, my leg will tell me. In fact, my whole body is very sensitive to stress right now. Um, guys that don't know, during the year of the snake, I had a real bad house fire. I was homeless the majority of the year of the snake, and I was still dealing with healing from my car accident, being hit by a vehicle. And yeah, so during that period of time, hold on, because it's saying my phone not charging, and it's on the breaker. Hi guys. Alright, get it together, buddy. There we go. There we go. Okay. So during that period of time, Yes, definitely had to learn how to live in the pain, realizing people that utilize what I'm going through as a way for them to take advantage of me, look at me a kind of way, treat me a certain kind of way. You know, people in my space pretend like they care about what I got going on, but really they using it as an opportunity to lift themselves up on some weird shit. Very weird energy throughout the year, but I'm super grateful for the snakes that showed themselves. You will never be in my space ever again. I promise you that. I promise you that when Mary had a little lamb. You will never see me again, okay? And we are just using the last little bit of this snake, this last lunar cycle of the snake. For the rest of you motherfuckers to reveal your stuff. So you might as well go on ahead because I'm still in the business of blocking, ignoring, and all the things in between. Because please, you know, in the year of the horse, when I'm in my movements and I'm on my shit, because y'all know I'm a horse. I don't know if y'all knew this or not. But your girl is a horse. So I'm about to have my horse return. I'm about to have my Jupiter return. I'm in my year of one. There's a lot going on for Sunshine right now. And if you in the way and you like, what about me? Look at me. Da-da-da. I promise you, you will be blocked. This is not your year. This is my year. I spent all my years being useful, being a servant and helping people and supporting people and being present and da-da-da. It's time to pour back into my cup. And you guys, I spoiled y'all, but y'all gonna have to get over it. All right. And that's the energy of the horse. I'm telling y'all, that is the energy of the horse. It's, you know, horses do not like to be reined in. It makes them want to buck. Okay. So it's all about freedom. Horses are all about freedom. Okay. And then we're in the North Node of Aquarius. We got Pluto creating empowering transformations and truth in Aquarius. You know, in the age of Aquarius, a lot of Aquarian energy is going on to support the horse energy of being free, you know, being unique, being revolutionary, going against the grain of the things, okay, being unique and united, you know, so you know, it's all in alignment to, you know, moving towards that sense of freedom. Also being confident, agreeable, responsible, intelligent. Just be mindful of the impatience, especially because it's a fire horse energy. My vanish will be silent. Listen, I like everybody's been warned. Like I'm paying attention to energy real different right now. You gotta know when to leave me alone. Hey Jules, what's up? Yes, the age of Aquarius. It was just talking about all the placements that we have in Aquarius, all the transformations we have in there. And then we also have this energy of new beginnings happening on Neptune in a couple days and then Saturn next month. And we're going to get into that. So let's get into it. First, we're going to go over the planetary forecast. I'm going to let y'all know where the planets are. Then we're going to go from new moon to new moon. I'm going to pull some cards and I'm going to see y'all out. I'm not trying to keep y'all too long because you know, I got a bedtime, you know what I'm saying? And I've been doing homework all day. Hey, peace, y'all. Over there on YouTube, over there on TikTok, got some real ones. Okay, so, I guess we can just start from the beginning of January, because why not? All right, on the 3rd, we had the full moon, which was also a super moon. It was in Cancer in the 7th house in the 8th lunar mansion. So we started with that moon of celebration. You know what I'm saying? The full moon. It depends on what your culture is because we got two different like quote unquote Indian cultures. One considers the full moon to be the beginning of a lunar cycle, and another, I love you too. And another culture considers the new moon to be the lunar cycle. Now, when you hear on the Cosmic Nobody's Planetary Forecast with Sunshine on AL, we use the new moon here. The full moon is the midpoint. You know, I don't expect other astrologers to do what I do. That's the beauty of there being a multitude of astrologers because we have different thought processes. There's a multitude, there's an infinite amount of ways you can look at one planet and its placement and da 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 da. And so, you know, what works for me may not work for another astrologer, and I respect that. And I actually love to watch other astrologers and listen to their point of view and their stance and their vision and, you know, all those different things when they're looking at planetary placements. So it's all respect here. I don't have a problem with anybody disagreeing with me or seeing something from a different point of view. I welcome all different points of view because I'm the goddess of the crossroads. And of course, you know, we all come together and create one thought. You know what I'm saying? So this full moon was actually in the 8th lunar mansion, which is the Pushya nakshatra. This goes from 3 degrees to 16 degrees Cancer, constellation. Some positive traits of the Cancer moon was being helpful, religious, brilliant, well educated, and independent. Some negative traits is being arrogant, stubborn, overly sensitive, insecure, and doubtful. So that was the energy we started off the month and the full moon. Also, on the third, we had the quads meteor shower. They were moving about 40 an hour, but it would have been difficult to see them because we had a full moon. And they were coming from the Boots constellation, which comes from the 2003 EH1 comet. And we like there, okay? Oh, I skipped the date. I didn't realize I had something on the 1st. But on the 1st of January, Mercury entered Capricorn zodiac. So we started at the beginning of the Gregorian calendar, which considers January to be the month of transformation, especially because, you know, it was like almost a week after, well, yeah, about like a decade after the winter solstice. And so now in our first, you know, in our second decade after the winter solstice, we have the transformations of Janus happening in the Gregorian calendar. Now I know some people are like, no, it was just some random white person and they did this stuff wrong. Da, da, da. Okay, cool, but the universe doesn't make any mistakes, and everybody does their little things, and the rise and fall of empires move the way that they move, and the universe is always intentional, even when it's nut people doing nut shit. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna utilize it to our benefit. In the month of transformations, we started off with Mercury entering Capricorn constellation. Mercury is all about harvesting, speaking, and learning things into existence. Capricorn deals with slow and steady planning, working hard, resilience, determination, dependable. We're dealing with structure here, and the challenges that occur in our space to create that sense of discipline, structure, and strength, what have you. You know what I'm saying? So we're speaking that into existence. We're putting that in our daily routine because Mercury rules over Virgo energy, which is how we organize ourselves in our intellectual space. So all of that happened when Mercury entered Capricorn zodiac on the 1st. Now on the 2nd, Chiron's retrograde ended. And that's fun. Chiron deals with how we transmute our wounds into strengths. And it was repeating some degrees. You might have been realigning. Hey, Hurst, how you doing, love? You might have been reuniting with some people, and it might not even be in the same physical vessel. It might have been, you know, a different person, but same energy. And it's like, dang, I keep, you know, having these same, you know, people over and over and over again. Are you starting to realize it to yourself? And so it's like, what are you doing different this time? You know what I'm saying? And so with Chiron going prograde, now for the 3rd time, you're revisiting these degrees in Aries because we're calling for new beginnings. We're calling for you to take action. We're calling you to start following your gut when it comes to these wounds. You know, some of you guys like to shake shit off. It's a couple things that people doing, and Spirit said, let's address it. One of the things that y'all keep doing is y'all think that repeating these wounds with these people make you a stronger person. Oh, look at me, I'm being reliable and resilient in the relationship, and I'm standing through it, and I'm letting this person or this situation, this event, or these patterns, you know, strengthen the relationship. And look at me, you know, look how loyal I am. No, you look like a clown. Stop doing that shit. Some of you guys, you guys have the habit of projecting past wounds in present situations. You know, some things are, you know, you have to heal. If you don't heal, you're going to keep repeating patterns because you're going to keep treating the present, people, places, things, situations, and ideas as past wounds. And so you're not going to know how to treat these new situations. Communicate. If you can't sit here and communicate and say, you know what, I've been through this and this is going on, and you know, I'm not accusing you or anything, but let me just be open and honest. There's certain elements that's happening here that reminds me of common behaviors or common cycles, common patterns, and I don't want to repeat those patterns. So I'm thinking a certain kind of way. I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Certain kind of things are happening right now, you know, with me. What do you think about that? What kind of response do you have to what I'm saying right now? Now, if you can't have that kind of conversation with that person, with that place, with that situation, with that event, you know, if you can't have that conversation with yourself in certain situations, that's crazy. Okay, so that's a sign right there that you need to cut it. Okay, That price is way too high. It's all about opening up our throat chakras, baby. We have to do that. Opening our third chakra. We need strength and discipline and determination all up in them throat chakras with Mercury and Capricorn. Don't forget that on the first. So Chiron's retrograde ending. We're adding new beginnings to the ones and we're moving forward in them. So again, like I said, for the third time, you guys are repeating degrees and hopefully you guys make better decisions. Then we're coming down to the third. We have the full moon energy in Cancer. Also on the third, the moon and Jupiter were in conjunction at that time too. So we had a full moon in alignment with that planet of abundance, expansion, joy, philanthropy, philosophy, wisdom from the oracle and sages. Jupiter rules over Chokmah and Chesed, which is our second and our fourth row. That's Tahuti and that's Mayat. So our wisdom and our internal law here, was being, touched by Cancer energy, which rules over our Yasad, our space of giving birth. So giving life to our wisdom, giving life to our internal law, our internal Maya. Those were keys there with the moon and Jupiter being in alignment on the third. And fortune was also there. So having that connection between the moon, which rules over our third eye, our intuition, and Jupiter that rules over our sacral chakra, having that connecting between your intuition and your sacral chakra, definitely keys there. Also, what's your question, love? We had Venus on the third enter draconic Aquarius energy. So we had the draconic energy usually represents like our spiritual self, our spiritual direction. So we had the heart chakra of us as a spiritual collective entering that revolutionary energy, entering that space of being unique and united. So there's certain realms that you like to go into. So Venus is what you value and what you prioritize, your interpersonal relationships. As we know, Venus rules over Taurus and Libra, right? Venus rules over the heart chakra. Venus rules over the celestial designer, how you design and make things pretty in your space based upon what you value, what makes you feel good, where your self-esteem goes, right? So having the spiritual energy, the auric body of that chakra into Aquarius, it's time to be in your unique self. Your heart chakra is a fingerprint. You know what I'm saying? When you think about your Venus placement and what placements you have in your seventh and second house and what placements you have in Libra and Taurus energy and all the aspects and stuff like that's a fingerprint. That's a fingerprint. Nobody's is exactly like yours. I guarantee it. Well, especially when you start getting into the Kuiper belt with the asteroids. I guarantee it. Nobody's is exactly like yours. Okay. And so with that being said, it's time to be in your unique self with what you value and what you prioritize, what makes you feel good. What facets of love do you choose to prioritize, and what do they look like to you? What does community love look like to you? What does family love look like to you? Friendship love, romantic love. How are you obtaining your materials, right? Because over material things, we be a little materialistic here too. It's about a balance between the non-physical, which is Libra air, intellect, relationships, our thought process there, and the physical, our fixed earth energy of Taurus, right? What we find beauty in. So find that balance of those things there. It's okay. And it's okay. Nobody's is going to look like yours. Stop trying to make what you value and what's pretty to you and how you want to make your money and how you want to obtain your materials and stuff like that. Stop trying to make it look like the status quo and what everybody else is doing. You're not here to do what everybody else is doing. If you was here to do what everybody else is doing, everybody's heart chakra would be blueprinted the same. Everybody would have the same exact DNA code. That's not what's happening here. Okay? So remember that when, when this Venus draconic Aquarius energy. So that's third. Then we come into the fourth. So on the fourth, we have Mercury entering the Sagittarius constellation. So this is on the sidereal chart or Vedic, however way you want to communicate it. It's your business. So Mercury enters the Sagittarius constellation. The constellation deals with events, things that are going on in our space, what we're experiencing, right? And with Mercury entering this, it's our sacral chakra, our throat chakra. Mercury rules over the throat chakra. This is how we communicate, how we teach, how we learn, how we listen, how we speak. This is how we harvest things in our space, our intellectual self, how witty we are, quick thinking, things of that nature. Communication is here. And it's entering that space of joy. The sacral chakra of Sagittarius, your sensual pleasures. Wisdom from the Oracle Sage is also here. All right. So enjoy your throat chakra and your the alignment of your throat and your sacral chakra. Um then let's see what we have next. Oh, I missed one. I'm trying to go in order. It's not written in order, y'all. That's why I got the highlighter, because I'm like highlighting them as I go through. But also on the second, when we experience Chiron going, Chiron's retrograde ending, we also experienced the sun entering Draconic Aquarius. So like a couple days, like a day before Venus entered, the sun entered Draconic Aquarius too. So Venus and the sun on the spiritual level experiencing um, that revolutionary energy. So as your heart, creates the vibration of this is what I want, say what you want with all your heart and watch your experiences align. That's the sun and Venus in alignment. All right. Um, Eventually I'm gonna lose order because I got this highlighter all over the place. And that's okay because we're gonna get to everything. Don't even worry about it. I got you. All right, so it looks like the 10th is next. And on the 10th, Jupiter was at opposition of the sun. So we know Jupiter deals with our choke mind, our chesed. This is our wisdom, our tahuti, and our lifestyle, our maya. All right. And so this was, on the spotlight of the world stage, being opposite of where the sun is at, because we know Jupiter is in Gemini energy, while the sun is in Sagittarius. um what Capricorn, Sagittarius, while Jupiter is in Cancer slash Gemini. So that's the opposition energy happening there. Expansion and abundance with nurturing your community, home and family and community. Philosophies surrounding that, in our experiences, real heavy. Grounding ourselves in that while the sun is shedding light with the what brings us pleasure, what brings us joy, how do we structure the pleasure and joy? That's what's happening there with Jupiter at opposition. Then on the 11th, we have Vesta, which is the asteroid that rules over our passions. That enters Aquarius zodiac. And so Vesta, what we passionate about, again, same conversation of like you're a blueprint, you're a fingerprint, you're a snowflake, There's no one like you. And there's not supposed to be anybody like you. But we live in a world where everybody's being convinced to be like everything else, everybody else and stuff like that. And so like where you like hone your devotion, your passion and what's sacred to you is it's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be unique. It's going to be something that's not like everybody else or what everybody else is doing. Vesta is also going to be Vesta also aligns with Chariklo over there in that zodiac, and Pallas. And Pallas represents our talents, our wisdom, our defense. These are the genius like that we have in ourselves that we overlook. You know what I'm saying? So as you start to get into your uniqueness and what makes you different, what makes you stand out, those different parts of you that you try to keep, hidden because you want to blend in with everybody at work or everybody at school, or you don't want to make too many waves with your partner or your family or whatever, we have a tendency to try to hide these parts of ourselves. Peace. Hi, Darlene. How you doing? You have a tendency to hide these parts of yourself so that that herd immunity. And so some of us are still fighting in that transition of the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, because Pisces is all about the school of fish and all the fish being on one accord and doing the same thing and swimming in the same direction for survival, right? Whereas Aquarius is more like, oh no, granted, we still here for the unity, let's go, but we don't need to all look the same and be the same and be in this cookie cutter, common core curriculum type situation for survival. We don't all need to do the same thing. People can branch out and do just the things that they want to do. And we see that a lot. Aquarius also rules over electronic communication. So we see a lot of that happening, right? So with that being said, we have a lot of this, Vesta coming into electronic communication, people starting to speak on these ones and zeros about what they're passionate about. People going on these ones and zeros, seeing more of, some genius like qualities they may overlooking themselves, you might go on the internet and see like, oh, okay, that's how I do, my chart. That's how I do my numbers. This is how I do this. This is how I do that, because Aquarius also deals with the Ketters, which is knowledge. So this is how I do these different things. I'm learning about myself, and as I learn about myself, it's kind of like clicking to me why I always felt so different. Why certain things just wasn't for me, no matter how much other people were saying, "Hey, you should like this. You should want to do this. This is it." And it wasn't. I'm not feeling it, and now I'm starting to see more and more why I'm not feeling it. I'm trying to find my notes for this one. I should have wrote this in alphabetical order, but I did not. And that's okay. That is okay. Anyway, we'll move on because I don't want to keep y'all. And I don't want to keep me either. It's time for me to go lay down. Then we have the 12th. The 12th, Maki Maki goes retrograde. And Maki Maki is currently located in the Libra zodiac Virgo constellation. And Maki Maki deals with wealth manifestation and how to use your resources that are around you to get to your goals. All right, so it's going to repeat some degrees in thinking in your truth, your justice was balanced, was fair to you, and the degrees of Virgo constellation of manifesting and harvesting and bringing things to existence and organizing and scheduling and all those things like that. And some of you guys have so many resources around you, but you don't know how to use them. So maybe if we repeat these degrees, you might start having more eureka moments of, oh, I can use this resource, and I do have those resources, and you know what, I'm actually good at this, and I know how to do that, and this is over here, and that person's over there. So enjoy Maki Maki going and repeating those degrees for a second time. May they bring you some bonds and contracts that you need to bring into fruition what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for all of y'all. Success is abundant. You know what I'm saying? Success is infinite. If outer space, upper space, inner space, if all of that is so infinite and it's successful on a daily basis, like every day your cells get up and do meiosis and mitosis and meiosis and respiratory, and your systems are doing everything. The sun rises and falls, the moon rises and falls, the stars show up, the water does what the water does, the air does. Every day the universe is infinitely successful, and you are a reflection of that. That means that every last person on this planet has the ability, the capacity to be successful all at the same time. I don't have to say, oh, I can't be successful right now because somebody on the other side of the world is being successful. That's not how it works. Just like you wouldn't say, oh, I need to be sick. I need to have a cold right now because there's like 7 billion people with health and one of us has to be sick. Like it doesn't have to work that way. It doesn't have to work that way. Now, if you're walking around and saying, I don't have to be successful, guess what? You're going to be successful at saying you're not being successful. You're definitely going to prove yourself right. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. Some of you guys like to do that. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, on the 12th, we also have Venus entering the Capricorn constellation. So now we have the experience of the heart chakra, what's happening in our space, you know what I'm saying? Entering that diligence, that reliability, that now we're finding structure to our goals. Now we're finding structure to the Venusian, like, this is what I want. This is what I desire. This is, what I want. What do you want? What do you love? The heart chakra is I love, right? I love, I love, I love. Well, Capricorn is the root chakra. I am. I am, I am, I am. So we got to put I love and I am. We got to put them together. I love, so I am. You have to be the things that you love. And that's how you're going to bring it to your space. I'm trying to give y'all the keys, okay? Then we have on the 13th, Aries is going to go direct in Aries. Aries has been in retrograde. I know I got Aries on the front page, right? Nope, I got Eros because I just be doing stuff. Sunshine. But I do know that Aries is kind of like Xena, the warrior princess. It's like a feminine Aries type of energy of being like valiant, a warrior. I know I got all these notes all over the place. There it is. Boom. Rebellious, discord, and activism. All right. And we'll actually be in, where's Aries at? Aries is going to be in Aries until 2044. We've been here since 1925. So you think about it, mid 1920s, what we had? We had like the Harlem Renaissance was popping. Then we started getting into the Great Depression, and then the things that was happening after that. And then we got into civil rights, and a lot of movements was happening in the 60s, 70s, 80s. So a lot of back and forth with that Aries energy, but Aries is that rebellious side over there. By the way, this is my first time seeing you on my news feed. I'm grateful because I know I've accepted when I see new feeds. Thank you. Oh, yay. I'm glad. Well, I'm so glad we aligned. Hello. Cheers to the last and the new lunar cycle of the year of the snake. And so we get into, Aries, and then Ceres. So Aries is in Aries right now, and Ceres is also experiencing that new beginning energy. Ceres is all about nurturing, being a nurturer. What are you willing to destroy for what you care for? Like, for me, it's my kids. I'll do anything for these little people. I will destroy the world. I don't know. I don't know what sentence that is because I don't know specifically what my series is in to say that. I gotta look. But that's the sentence that series will bring to you. Whatever zodiac and house series is in for you, that's letting you know what you are willing to destroy and who or what are you willing to destroy it for. Like, oh, I love this so much. I'll burn the whole world down for this. You know what I'm saying? So that's that energy that Series brings. And right now, it is in that Aries energy with Aries bringing us that rebellious discord. So some of those things that y'all feel real passionate about, my dog is going in. Some of those things y'all feel real passionate about, y'all willing to destroy for, y'all willing to go to war for. And for some people, the inner warrior in y'all is waking up. Don't keep ignoring that because Aries rules over the blood pressure, the gut, you know what I'm saying? It rules over the solar plexus chakra, how you want to use your SOL. Oh, I'm also year of the dragon, so I'm eager to see what's coming. Oh, really? We about to go into the fire horse. I'm a horse. We're about to go into the fire horse, and the dragon's gonna do really well. I'm gonna get more into the Chinese zodiac the next planetary forecast I do. This time I'm doing the new moon to new moon, but once we get closer to that next new moon, I always come back. I come back on Wednesdays. I'm here on Wednesdays, FYI. It's okay. So you're a horse too? Yeah, right. You over there chasing rabbits. So on the 14th, the sun enters Capricorn constellation. So now we're shedding light and we're having this awareness on what we need to do, what kind of challenges. Oh, you're a horse, hey, horse game. What kind of challenges we need to experience to bring us the strength that's required for what we desire. All right. We're going to come to some sense of awareness about that. We're going to experience it. We're going to figure out what to do with it. We're going to really plant the roots of what it is, of the seeds, of the flowers we're trying to grow. I mean that figuratively, and I also mean that literally for my gardeners out there. If you guys haven't already started, start getting those seeds together. That was on the 14th. We're in the 22nd, so those days passed, and I do see a lot of you guys out there gardening and sprouting your seeds and stuff like that. Kudos to y'all for being in alignment with nature. Nature is the cosmos. Then we get into the 15th. Now on the 15th, now we got Mars catching up in the Capricorn constellation. Mars deals with our gut, our motivation, our ambition, what gets us going, what triggers us. And what's triggering us right now is those challenges, is the structure, the limitations, the root. I don't want to use the word routine. But I definitely want you guys to have some level of structure, some type of instructions for yourself of how you want to use your energy, what motivates you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have been duped into believing that what I want is not realistic. What I want is not logical. But it's only that way because you haven't put a structure to it for it to be logical. You know what I'm saying?
Do you like some mushrooms?
Not right now. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's because you haven't done the planning. So utilize your Saturn, use the Capricorn energy to help you with planning and organizing and structuring yourself out. These are the laws and orders that I have for myself. These are some of the challenges that I may come across. These are how I'm going to answer to those challenges, stuff like that. Dang, I'm not even done January yet. I'm trying to get y'all up out of here. Then we have the new moon, of course, was on the 18th. That's 118 1. Okay, so that adds up to 11. So that was on a day of mastery. On a day of mastery, we had that Capricorn new moon in the 8th house, which was also in the 23rd lunar mansion. So now we have our intuition. Now we're nurturing the root chakra of the things. Now we're nurturing the structure, the limitations, the restrictions, and the discipline of the things. The 23rd lunar mansion is Danishta Nakshatra, which goes from 23 degrees Capricorn to 6 degrees Aquarius constellation. And some positive traits about that is being brave, generous, wealthy, familial, skilled at astrology, dance and music, doing well in foreign lands, and being ambitious. Started talking about Greenland, okay? Some negative traits: being a warrior, inconsiderate, ruthless, aggressive, argumentative, sex problems, and materialistic energy comes on the 18th as well. So, peace to y'all that had that experience. Oh, let me rewind today. On the 17th, Mercury entered Capricorn constellation. All right. So we have Mercury and the Sun and Mars and Venus all in Capricorn constellation, being at opposition of the moon. In fact, on the 18th, as I look at this on this day of 11, we had a really nice triangle in the sky. All right. That triangle we had in the 8th house, which is the house of transformations, bringing things to a truth. 8th house is the Scorpius energy, so that's fixed water. Holding grudges and a sense of jealousy can be there too. And then, mind you, this is how we're starting the last lunar cycle of the year of the snake. That year of the snake, that transformations, people shedding themselves, bringing truth, that's all in alignment with Scorpius energy in the 8th house. So it's kind of like the cosmos was showing us, like, hey, it's the last lunar cycle. Let them last couple snakes up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And it's happening in Capricorn. So some of these challenges could be some snakes coming back into your space. Take me back. Put up with my shit again. Fake sorries, fake apologies. Don't you want to go through this routine with me again? I miss it. I miss the routine of forgiveness and then acting like nothing happened and just moving on. You know what I'm saying? Certain people come in. Now, if you don't like the way you were behaving and carrying yourself and stuff like that in the previous cycles of these people, places, things, situations, and ideas, do something different this time. It doesn't always have to be confrontational. It doesn't always have to be argumentative. It doesn't have to be violent or volatile. It could just be like, I'm just giving the energy something different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not entertaining this time. Or I will entertain this time because all the other times I kept saying, fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do something different. But that's what that 8th house is about. And the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, like I said, were all in Capricorn. Oh, if you had a baby on that day, baby, first of all, that's a serious baby. That baby came out with a straight angry face. The most serious baby ever. Because we know the winter zodiac are the old souls of the zodiac, and Capricorn is definitely an old soul of the zodiac, being that cardinal Earth of the winter time during the winter solstice and all that fun stuff. But yes, very serious baby here. Pluto is also in the Capricorn constellation in the 8th house as well. So we had a real heavy situation happening in the root chakra, transformations happening in the root chakra, that space of authority. And then we actually had a really strong triangle in the sky. So on the base, it's like an equilateral triangle type situation going on. On the one base, you had all of those planets right there, and then you also have Vesta over there too, giving that what am I passionate about? You know what I'm saying? What is sacred to me? And all of that is aligning with your sun and moon, which is your internal, external third eye, your Mercury, which is your throat chakra, Venus, your heart chakra, and Mars, your solar plexus chakra. So aligning those chakras together and saying what gets this going, what is passionate here, and then at the top of the triangle, you had the MC line, which is the space of success, achievements, whatever that looks like to you. And of course, we had Saturn and Neptune at the top of that triangle, providing the structure and the discipline that's required to bring your dreams to a reality. Because Neptune is the dreams, Neptune is the illusions and the delusions and the sensitivities. And Neptune also deals with Pisces energy, which is associated with Mayat once you get into the nether roots of it. What's your internal law? What's your celestial blueprint like? And Capricorn is like, we'll help this celestial blueprint, these sensitivities, this imagination that you have. We're going to create grounding with it. We're going to ground it because we live in the physical world, and the physical world has laws of physics. We got Neptune with the laws of metaphysics, and we have Saturn here with the laws of physics, and we're living in a reality where we get to put those together. We're putting them together in the Pisces constellation. By next month, both of them will be in Aries zodiac, still in Pisces constellation. So in our minds, we have like these new beginnings with it, while in the grounding, the constellation, the reality of it all, we're still experiencing our sensitivities. How do we feel about it? Regulating our nervous systems with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's really fun and exciting. And we're successful with that. That's literally at the top of the triangle. Then on the other side of the triangle, on the other side of the base, we have Uranus providing progressive pushes in that Taurus constellation. Which is all about what we value, what we prioritize, what we see beauty in, okay? And we have Uranus progressively pushing us through it. Things we used to value, we're not valuing so much anymore. Things we used to love, we're not loving so much anymore. We're loving a little different, you know what I'm saying? That balance between the material and emotional self. What I have versus how I feel. We're being progressively pushed to do and feel things different. And that's also happening in the 11th house, which is towards the Aquarius house of, our friendships, social spaces, electronic communication, our intellect, as Aquarius rules over the Ketters. So now we're in our knowledge with it. Our awareness of being is here as well. And Uranus is just progressively pushing us to what we value and prioritize as we become more in our awareness. So that was like a beautiful way to start off the new moon cycle, this last lunar cycle of the energy of the snake. And so yeah, I had to go in with that with y'all for a little bit. But that was a very strong triangle. And then in addition to the triangle, we had Mars in opposition of Jupiter. In fact, I believe it's Mars and Mercury. Was it? Yeah, the moon, Mercury, and Mars were all at 2 degrees. Okay, so all those planets were in opposition of Jupiter. Honestly, all the Capricorn planets was in opposition of Jupiter, but definitely those 3. Jupiter is over there in Gemini constellation, and so Jupiter is providing that expansion, that abundance, that joy, that philanthropy and philosophy to Gemini, which deals with our sense of duality, our intellect, our communications, our community, our opportunities. So as we deal with Vesta over there around Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus and Mars, helping us find what's sacred to us, our experiences, our emotions, what nurturing us, motivating us, Jupiter's over there, fixating on the community. And this is all happening in the first house too. So its appearance is coming out and how you're appearing to your community with these passions and what it is that you're doing. So hopefully over the weekend, you guys were in movement, you guys were around people, and you guys were doing things that, you were passionate about, and you were, I guess, I want to use the word unapologetic about, you know what I'm saying? Like just being you and your authenticity in a very unapologetic way, in a very powerful way. Because Jupiter is putting you in the right people, places, things, situations, and ideas, communities, and opportunities, and spaces of that nature to continue what it is you started this new moon cycle in. So hopefully you guys moved in alignment. Now I'm sitting here I'm thinking about my life and what I did over the weekend. I'm like, yeah, Fuck yeah. I definitely started this lunar cycle off right. Um, so that's that there. Okay. I'm getting closer and closer to the date. Uh, I missed Mercury entering Draconic Aquarius on the 9th, but that's okay. I've went through Mercury through and through, and I went through Aquarius through and through. So I'm sure at this point you guys can put one and two together. On the 20th, the sun enters Aquarius zodiac. That was like yesterday. Depends on where you at. Some of y'all are on East Coast, so some of you guys are like, "Oh, that was the day before yesterday." But for me, it's only 11:30. So, our experiences are now in that revolutionary energy, being unique, being in our knowledge, utilizing electronic communication a little bit more, especially as it gets colder. You know what I'm saying? We in the house anyway. But being more revolutionary here, being more in awareness of your depth of being and your connectivity with, like, seeing how, this is why I teach energy awareness. Energy awareness is heavy on Aquarius energy because it's like the more I learn about myself and my own uniqueness, the more I realize other people share this level of uniqueness as well, and it brings us closer together. And I think that's fire. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the sun has given us experiences to do in that zodiac energy. Then also on that day, Mercury entered the Aquarius zodiac as well. So we got the sun and Mercury, hanging out, being BFF still. Mercury speaking those things to existence that you are experiencing. So in this space with Mercury and the sun being close around each other and then being in an Aquarius and your thought process and stuff like that, it's really easy to manifest in that alignment. Like, I said it and it happened. It's happening. So, be careful with that energy. Make sure you're really speaking into things that you really want and you're not overthinking into the things that you don't want. On the 21st, Mars enters Gemini constellation, and that's fun, right? Actually, give me 2.5 seconds.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm almost done January, y'all. Hello, Mars. Lied. This is. I don't even know why it's there. I don't know where my pen is there. Blending in with my keyboard. The first time I wrote these notes was really late at night. And so I was editing them today and I was looking like my eyeballs was crossing and I was just doing stuff at one point. It's okay. Not really. Okay. So then we get into the 23rd. Mars enters the Aquarius zodiac. So now we have your motivation, what gets you going, what gets you moving in that revolutionary energy, that sense of self-awareness. So as you start experiencing, doing the work, do some journaling, speak some things into existence between the sun and Mercury, Mars is like, all right, let's go get it done then. Let's move towards it. Gut breaths, fasting, pay attention to your gut feeling. If you aren't treating your gut right, it's going to be very difficult to trust your gut because you're not intaking, you're not breathing, you're not nurturing your gut well enough for your gut to speak back to you. All right. But for those of you guys who have been putting in the work, especially while Mars was in Capricorn, congratulations. At this point in time, you guys should have a really comfortable relationship with your gut to where you can follow your gut feeling on some things. You know what I'm saying? On all the things, really. So enjoy that as Mars enters Aquarius zodiac tomorrow, actually. Then on the 26th, well, actually, no, wait a minute. On the 24th, Psyche goes direct in Gemini zodiac. slash Taurus constellation. Psyche is pretty self-explanatory. It's where our mindset is at as a collective. Where is our behavioral at? And right now, it's on community slash what we value and prioritize. With Taurus energy, what I have versus how I feel, and the community and the opportunities that are going to adhere to that. All right. So as Psyche goes direct there, and it's it was in retrograde with Setna. Setna is as a spiritual collective, and Setna is also straddling between that zodiac and Taurus energy. Sappho also got goes direct, and that Gemini Taurus energy on the 30th. And I was just saying that because they're all near each other, so I might as well just chat about them all at the same time. Um, no. Sappho is your attraction to people that's what I thought it was. I just need to double check. But this is your attraction to people of the same sex, sexual preferences, your nature, desires, and charm. And so that's also in the community and facets of love as well. So Psyche, Sappho, and Setna, mind, hormones, and soul are all over there around the community and what I desire versus how I feel, and that's fun. On the 25th, Pallas enters the Pisces zodiac, and yeah, Pallas deals with our genius-like qualities that we overlook, our talents and the art, wisdom, and defense, and our intuition, and it's being in that space of sensitivity. So yeah, it's a great time to have a regulated nervous system. Follow how you feel for real, for real. Really learn how to get in tune with, okay, my body is telling me this is going on. My body is telling me that is going on. How am I, how can I deal with this? How am I dealing with this? Is this what I want? This is what I like. Y'all really need to like go inward. Aquarius Pisces energy is inward time. It's inward time, most definitely times 1,000. Um, this is the time where we like get real comfortable with our inside because it's our insides that help us have our outer space experience. It's kind of hard to have a good outer space experience when your nervous system is all wonky because you're still in survival mode, or you still in those past wounds, or you still traveling in the deep waters of Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer that's making it hard for you to come out of that shell or put them claws and that stinger down. You have to go inward, and you have to cleanse, and you have to purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. You got to do the dragon brush. You have to do the work, so that especially when flowers bloom and we come into that spring energy. Because right now we're in the root chakra of the things, right? We just entered Capricorn constellation. I know we just entered Aquarius zodiac, but we entered Capricorn constellation about 4 or 5 days ago. All right, and we're gonna be here till about February 16th, 17th. All right. So with that being said, we're still in the space of the seed being in the soil. The seed is in the dirt. It's still trying to figure out how to sprout out in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally because some of y'all have started sprouting your seeds. I love that for you. But that's also, spiritually. That's also with your goals and ambition, right? Especially for those of you guys who follow the Janus, New Year and set your New Year's resolutions on the first. Or some of you guys that flow with the solstices and the equinoxes, and you decided to speak your intentions into existence during the winter solstice, which is a good time to put a seed in soil because that's the darkest day of the year. You know what I'm saying? We're literally in the midst of the soil, in the darkness. So if you guys utilize those energies to your liking, to your benefit, yeah, it's time to get comfortable with the soil. Get comfortable with darkness. Go inward. See all the nutrients that seed needs, that seed requires, and the nutrients that's around you in the darkness of the dirt that's going to adhere and nurture you accordingly, right? What else we got up here? We also have I talked about Mercury entering Capricorn constellation on the 24th. I think so. um, which brings us into an experience of communicating. Things might get a little difficult in Capricorn constellation, but that's to bring us strength that's required. So, you know, we love it there still. Capricorn be getting a bad rep. Capricorn is here for us to have strong roots. If you want a strong plan, you need strong roots. Venus also enters Draconic Pisces on the 26th. So spiritually getting into those deep waters of what we desire, what we love. Neptune on the 26th enters Aries zodiac. So now we have our sensitivities, things hidden beneath the horizon, hidden dreams, hidden agendas, hidden goals. We get into the Akashic records. We get into it's the deep waters of our psyche, our nervous system, spaces like that. We also subconscious, where we need healing, where we find our inspiration, our psychic identity. This is the dimension of life that can't be experienced by the five senses. So this is like the sixth sense. This also deals with psychic disorders, epilepsy, drug addiction, schizophrenia, insomnia, poisons, and the thalamus. And it's in that space of Aries, of the new beginnings, of taking initiative, because this is the cardinal fire, the wands card. So taking action, more action here on our dreams. Then on the 28th, we have Venus entering the Pisces constellation. So now our heart chakra is in that constellation. We'll be slowly approaching Neptune, aligning our heart chakra and our sacral chakra together. But for now, we're in a space where, you know, putting our sensitivities to our heart. And that is the month of January. Whew. All right, y'all. I'm going to take y'all to the new moon. So, on February 1st, we have another full moon, y'all. This is going to be the snow moon, the hunger moon. It's going to be at 3:11 p.m. EST in Leo in the second house. All right. When we're in Leo in the second house, excuse me. What degree did I say? I didn't say. Gosh darn it. The 10th nakshatra is the Maga nakshatra, and some positive traits there is being intelligent, helpful, wealthy, helping the less fortunate, good with business, parents, and enjoying partners. Some negative traits is being hot-tempered, arrogant, resentful, sensual, and cruel. Then the 11th lunar mantra goes from 13 degrees to 26 degrees Leo. That's the Purva Falguni nakshatra. Some positive traits is being courageous, broad-minded, soft-spoken, and active. Also artistic. Some negative traits is being impulsive, vain, narcissistic, reckless, and vindictive. So be mindful of that during the full moon energy. All right, and that's on the first of the month. Then on February 2nd, we have Lilith entering the Libra constellation. So we know Lilith is all about our repressed sensuality, repressed sexuality, our vulnerabilities, our fantasies are here. Also tells our temper triggers and what traits we dislike, and others are usually like a reflection how we feel about our own stuff. So being aware of that as well. And Lilith is all there helping you live in your truth, interpersonal relationships, bonds and contracts there in your truth. So that's happening there. Let it all out on the second. Justice is happening there for people that have been repressing, or people that have been overexpressing that Lilith energy too. So being aware of that as well. Peace to the gods. I know a couple people that got some important things going on in a second. Peace to y'all with Lilith and Libra. Almea also goes in retrograde, and that's happening in Scorpio, Zodiac, Libra constellation. Now, Almea is also an asteroid, and all my infinite notes. I'm such a dork. Hold on one second, y'all. make like a what do you call it? Like a table of contents. So I know, like, oh, on this page is these and that and that and that. I gotta put a pin in it. Make a table of contents. But I know Almeida is like being in alignment with nature as well. It's like the mother kind of energy. I'm just trying to, not trying to, I am looking for it in my notes to affirm it in my own words that I wrote. I know I wrote it down somewhere because I see it in my head. That's also why I write things down, because it helps me see things in my head. How they need to be seen. Yeah. Gosh darn it. I know I have it written down somewhere, but I won't get too caught up in it. Because, like I said, I wasn't trying to keep y'all for too long, and I'll keep keeping y'all for too long. Oh, but we are in Scorpio. That's what I wrote about on Maya. We're in Scorpio. We've been in Scorpio since 2023, and we'll be here until 2050. There it is. So Maya is the love of the natural world and natural processes. Oh, that's the asteroid that looks like a little cigar. Yeah, remember that. Fertility and childbirth, food supply, nourishment, connection to natural law, inner strength, and spiritual connection. It controls volcanoes. All right. Unity of values and faith. And Pele is actually Almea's mother. You guys are into, the Hawaiian mythology, right? Where was I going with this? I was going with this because Almea goes in retrograde and repeats degrees in the space of transformation in the constellation of justice, balance, and truth. So, on the second, nature may try to get their lick back in some type of way, shape, or form, especially in volcanic fashion. So be aware on the second. If y'all see anything about any type of volcanoes, any type of natural something happening, some type of storm or whatever, during that retrograde time, that's definitely nature getting a lick back and recalibrating. And we give thanks to Almea because get your lick back, baby. These little humans and whoever else, they not treating you right. So do what you gotta do, boo. Always going to be in favor of nature. I am nature. So then on the third, we have Mercury entering Aquarius constellation. So now we have us speaking in this level of awareness. By the time we get to the third, y'all should be speaking like self-aware gurus. You hear me? Being your knowledge, being your ketters. We're also harvesting our intellect in this space as well. Then by the I thought I saw something for the fourth. Maybe not. On the 5th, Uranus retrograde ends, and it ends at 27 degrees Taurus. All right, so yeah, it goes direct in Taurus zodiac. It's also in Taurus constellation too. By the time it gets to 27, because the Ayana Masa, which is the difference between the tropical and the Vedic, is 24 degrees. So if you're looking at something on a tropical chart with the zodiacs, just subtract 24 degrees, and that'll tell you what constellation it's in. That's a little, math problem for you. Okay. But yeah, Uranus retrograde ends in Taurus on the tropical and on the Vedic chart. On that day, Venus also enters the Aquarius constellation, and Mars enters Draconic Pisces. So the 5th might be a really heavy day. Actually, yeah, the 5th could very well be a heavy day astrologically. Don't be surprised if you want to take a nappy nap, if you feel a little bit irritable or tired, because Uranus is a very big planet, very hefty planet. Taurus is a fixed, I say Uranus, right? Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so slow and steady is there. So that might be a space and time where you definitely want to like slow down. Don't try to push too hard on the fifth. Be cool on yourself. 251. What is that? Eight. That's transformation. So definitely transformations happening on that day too. Standing on business. Make that day a planning day. Do your intellectual. Be in your sabek on that day. All right. Um. Then we get on the 6th. On the 6th, Mercury enters the Pisces zodiac on that day. So now we got our throat chakra entering that space of sensitivities and our psychic abilities and all the things like that. You might want to, our people like me, or people that speak like the angel tongue, and people that go on these ones and zeros and do esoteric speaking, they might be compelled to send a message on that day. Dreams definitely big on that day. Just speaking them out. Again, once again, this is a space where you have to be very careful about what you're speaking into existence, especially in a crowd full of people. Some people don't realize them coming on these platforms and saying certain things ain't no different than being in the elevator and screaming fire. It's a certain kind of responsibility you have to have when speaking things into existence. Um then on the 11th, we have Mercury entering the Aquarius constellation. So now we have that throat chakra, speaking, and also what you harvest, what you manifest, and what you harvest. Let that be unique to you. Let that be something revolutionary to you. Also, how you organize yourself. You know what I'm saying? There may be a shift in your routine happening on the 11th. Uh, Something that's more catered to you and less towards like the status quo, what everybody's doing or what people have projected upon you to do. You know what I'm saying? The sun also enters Aquarius constellation the next day. So we still have Mercury and the sun hanging out with each other. Now they're hanging out in that constellation of awareness, the awareness of depth of being, and that Asar energy, and the Ketters, and that knowledge, okay? Um, yeah, speak it and so let it be. We love Mercury and the sun hanging out together because this is great if you guys are manifestors like me or my manifesting generators. This is a good time for you guys too with the sun and Mercury hanging out with each other between Capricorn and Aquarius. We're in the root chakra here. You know what I'm saying? We're setting the tone here and it's fun. Um on the I missed the 11th. I missed the 10th. Venus enters Pisces zodiac on the 10th. So our heart chakra is in that space. I think I said that out loud already. On the 13th, Setna, which is the asteroid of our spiritual selves, goes direct in the Taurus constellation, Gemini zodiac. And also on that day, Eros enters the Gemini zodiac. So Setna deals with our transcendence and our spiritual growth. Um, okay. Our outer limits of our consciousness, how we stretch our concept of reality, hereditary, evolutionary, and spiritual change and development. Um, and we're going to be in Gemini until 2035. We've been here since like 1977. So before 1977, everything was about Taurus energy and what you have and the materials. And I got the two kids and the wife and the picket fence, right? Like the 1950s and the 1920s, and everybody was like, what do you have? What do you have? We got ownership, we got the Black Wall Street, we got the Harlem Renaissance. Like, it's all about my money and my job and my car and my kids, and how is what I have, what I have. But now we have moved on to Gemini. But still, again, we're still in the Taurus constellation. So we're in that cusp space in between, like, community, communication, opportunities, and things like that, and what I have. So you'll still see some people having that tug of war, generations having that tug of war, because we're not completely in that generation of people more so focused on community, communication, and opportunities, duality, stuff like that. We still have those people that's still in that Taurus energy on Sedna, right? Because like I said, we've been here since 1977. Those people are still around. You know what I'm saying? And it's perfectly fine. We love it here. That's my parents. It's perfectly fine. We like it here. We like it here. But that's happening there with Setna going prograde, repeating those degrees for a third time. in that zodiac and constellation. Um, some of you guys are really getting pulled in and out of what you value and what you prioritize because a lot of that stuff is indoctrination. It wasn't you to begin with. You know what I'm saying? You got to just come to this realization. You know, people wasn't trying to hurt you or nothing. They was just teaching you what they knew, how they knew to teach it. You know what I'm saying? So we give them grace for doing their possible best, because their possible best is what made it so you could be here doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? So we give them grace, and then we take the torch and we keep moving forward. You know, and we keep expanding and growing and being in our knowledge and being in our awareness, and we take to the next step, and then we give hope that our youth give us grace, because we did the best we could with what we had and how we was, you know, what we was rooted in, versus the transformations that needed to happen for us to take to have the awareness to take the baton and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So we hope that our youth gives us the grace and it keeps going like that, instead of us keep staying in the same spot. Oh, I went through this, so you should go through that. I went through this, so you should go through that. Like, we're keeping us in the same dot, instead of moving us forward. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to start moving forward. Stop staying in the same dot. It's weird. Then we get into the 14th. 14th, now we got Saturn entering Aquarius. I mean, Aquarius. Saturn is entering the Aries zodiac. New beginnings, ambition, and motivation on Saturn. It might be some war type stuff. I see, you know, a lot of people been speaking like, again, not doing no fear mongering with y'all, no type of nothing. I know I'm being on that type of time anyway. Everybody's reality gonna be different. It's billions of people in the world. Y'all all are not gonna have the same experience. Okay, so take a breath. Um, but Saturn deals with restriction. Saturn deals with authority, the roots of the things. Who's your authority? Because there's a new beginning happening there. There's some like swift, you know, motivation, ambition, triggers, you know, anger. Could get violent there if the Aries is overactive. If the Aries is underactive, it could be a lot of pessimismness, and also confidence is happening here. Confidence, bravery, you know, self-control. You know, how do you face difficulties? How do you face challenges? You know what I'm saying? Is there a sense of self-control there, or are you like throwing fire all over the place, misdirecting it, and, you know, mischanneling your anger and all? You be doing all that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what we're coming into with Saturn enters Aries. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, granted, we're still in the Pisces constellation, but now it's nice to have that nice blend between Aries and Pisces, because it's like now we're firing up the water a little bit. Check on your Pisces friends, because they're gonna be getting pulled. Uh, they're gonna be getting pulled into some new beginnings with this I guess straddle, if you will, of Aries zodiac Pisces constellation, and then also realizing that Neptune is going to be entering Aries. I don't know if y'all ever been around Pisces too much, but they're very lax people. They're not. They're just very like, ugh. I'm a Virgo. I'm on the opposite side of the joint. So like sometimes that kind of irritate my spirit. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, bro, get the fuck up. What are we doing? It's time to do something. But not but and that being said, I still love the Pisces energy. I got Pisces twin sisters, and they're amazing. um, you know, it's going to be fire lit up under them. You know, it's time to move, especially entering a year of horse. With, you know, this is pre-gaming us for the horse energy, the fire horse energy that's to come. So it's like even the Pisces, even y'all gotta feel this fire, bro. Nobody's exempt. Y'all thought y'all was gonna hide from the horse. No, everybody's gonna be in motion. Everybody's moving. Everybody's getting things done. You know, at some point Saturn and Neptune is going to be over there with Aries and Chiron over there. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be a very interesting four-way combo. You know, it does sound kind of crazy. Saturn and Neptune are actually going to be in conjunction the very next day on the 15th, providing that structure to your sensitivity. So Valentine's Day weekend is going to be kind of crazy, kind of, you know, getting some structure and some order to things together, especially if you're already in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, um, definitely facing some challenges there. Hopefully, you guys put some challenges to rest and put them to bed like around the 13th, the 12th, or the 13th, so that y'all can live and breathe and have a good time on the 14th and 15th, and just being y'all calm nervous system and y'all sensual selves. But if not, definitely volatile energy happening that weekend. Yeah, challenges happening there. Then 16th is kind of quiet because the 14th and 15th are very like earthquaking days. The 17th is then we have the new moon. All right, the new moon is going to be at 7:05 a.m. 2:17:1. What's that? Two two plus eight is 10, 11. That's a day of mastery. We love days of mastery. Mastery with the new moon. Now the new moon is going to be in Aquarius. Now we have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Venus. They're all in Aquarius with the North Node and Fortune, as well as Palace in the first house. So it's going to be heavy on that revolutionary energy, heavy on the awareness of the depth of your being, your soul. That's going to be a day to really, really go inward, like go inside. It's also going to be an annular solar eclipse, which is going to be visible in Antarctica and the Indian Ocean. So shout out to my people in Antarctica. Um, y'all get to see it. You know, hopefully it opens up a bigger hole in Antarctica because I'm trying to get the cup out here. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some new stuff. I'm kind of bored. I'm trying to travel to some new places. Um, Hopefully it's warm over there. But yeah, this is revolutionary. Getting into with your uniqueness. Like I can't stress that enough. Like all this Aquarius energy, and then it's happening in the 12th house, which is the house of Pisces. Now we're getting into your nervous system. We're getting into your dreams, your subconscious, anything hidden beneath the horizon. So this is like the last like hurrah of the snake of things like really revealing themselves, like the last like shaboomy, because now we're officially in the year of the horse. Also, Ramadan pops up after what the moon is visible. So we have that going on too, and that's fun. We love it there, right? Um, yeah. So peace to the new moon, and then Mars will be in Capricorn in the 12th house. So we have our solar plexus chakra, in the space of stability, structure, discipline, authority, you know. And people that have been in a place of authority could bet your bottom they'll definitely be revealing some things in that space. A lot of the things that we're experiencing when it comes to these people playing chess, and using everybody as pawns, this is spiritual, you know. Some energies are intentionally bigger than others, as single. Uh, so, pay attention to what's happening in the physical because it's definitely happening in the spiritual too. And that alignment with Aquarius in the 12th house is definitely spiritual and intellectual at the same time. Like, I got my knowledge, and I also am in tune with like spirituality, which is a lot to do with how you feel. How you feel cannot be indoctrinated. What you know can be indoctrinated. What you know can be manipulated. It's a whole bunch of psychological game plays people been doing for decades, if not centuries, on y'all to make y'all consume shit, to make y'all behave a certain way, to make y'all think a certain way, to make y'all treat other people a certain way, value certain things, shop a certain way. Like, oh my, like this weekend is a big example. I'm not gonna say that there's not a snowstorm coming. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't fucking know. I don't care. You wanna know why? Because I keep food in my crib. There's always food. Listen, I live in a house with a Leo, a Taurus, and my dog is a Taurus, and I'm a Virgo. One thing Sunshine gonna have in the crib is food. Okay, it's food in here. I don't need to rush to the store and grab a bunch of stuff that's about to expire tomorrow because I think I'm gonna be snowed in for the crib. But I've noticed now I'm from Jersey. I've noticed in Jersey and I've also noticed in Virginia when I lived in Virginia for a little bit, there was a pattern with niggas lying on TV saying it's gonna be a storm, run to the store, buy this, buy that, buy that. And those things just so happen to be on sale, real convenient. And also those things just so happen to be in overabundance on the shelf. Like maybe you guys had too much on the shelf and you had to make space on that shelf for the other stuff, and now just so conveniently there's no storm. And now I have a house full of stuff that I don't really want. I didn't really need. I just thought I was gonna be stuck here. You know what I'm saying? So I've noticed that pattern. I'm not saying that that's what's happening now. I'm just saying I noticed that pattern, and I don't. At some point, y'all gotta notice the pattern. Y'all gotta know when people playing on your face. You gotta know when people playing on your face, especially when they keep changing it. Like if they start selling, like pay attention to they shit. Like if they start selling stuff and the shelves start getting empty, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, it might snow on Sunday. Oh, you know what? It might be on Monday. They just played in your face, bro. They just played in your face. And now they're easing up the lie and loosening it up. They just play it in your face. But that's okay. You got some extra bread and milk in the refrigerator. Hopefully that's stuff that you actually eat. Because I don't understand why people rush to the store and buy a bunch of shit they don't eat. Why did you do that? You just bought a bunch of stuff you don't eat and you just say you got stuff in the refrigerator. That makes sense. I don't want to. Last thing I want to do is be snowed in with a bunch of stuff I don't eat or drink. I just bought it because that was in the store. Like, no, I'm not. I've never been that kind of shopper anyway. It's just crazy work to me. I don't even know how I got there. But on the 18th, after we have this full moon and the solar eclipse on the 18th, the sun is going to enter Pisces zodiac. So now we're going to have our experiences entering, the delusions and the illusions and the dreams and the subconscious and stuff like that. Again, first of all, we started the winter time. People be like, why you got the New Year's in the middle of the winter? It's not in the middle of winter. Winter just started. Winter literally just started. It started on the solstice, guys. But, we're in winter until like March, right? March 21st. Then we get into the spring equinox. So by the time we do get to mid-February, yeah, we're smack dab in the middle of winter. And that's when you're dealing with Pisces. Now, Pisces is mutable water. It's not fixed water. But mutable water is still, deep because we're dealing with Pisces. We're dealing with Olokun. We're dealing with the depths of the nervous system. The nervous system, the brain, the waters that the brain is submerged in, just like the waters that the womb is submerged in, is like uncharted territory. We don't know too much about it. It's kind of like some stuff is just like, dang. The scientists get to a point where they're like, you know what? That's God. That's the only answer we got. It's God. It's God. It's only but so much scientific theories and methods and experiments and observations you can do before you just be like, you know what? I feel like we just ended up to nothingness. We just did everything to end up to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Pisces is all about. It's about them deep unknown waters, to the point you get so deep and so unknown in the shit that you start visualizing, you start being in the subconscious, you start dreaming, you start creating the illusions and delusions. You feel a sense of like not severe but intense detachment. You know what I'm saying? You get really into the sensitivities of the things when you're in these waters, right? So yeah, by the time we get to mid-February, it was kind of like in the middle. Well, the beginning of February is kind of like the smack dab in the middle of winter. So this is the time where, like, if you were literally a seed, or you think about your thought as a seed, we're starting to sprout out of the shell of the seed, and we're going through the deep soils. Now, granted, we give thanks that we don't experience winter time and darkness at the same time, because we'd probably freeze over. I couldn't imagine experiencing the severe cold and darkness at the same time. That sounds like an awful experience. So we have this balance of we're getting more and more sunlight. However, it's still cold as shit. Don't be fooled by the sun. Sirius is not here. Not here yet at all, but it is slowly rising. And we give thanks. And so yeah, this is the time to go inward, to get the nourishment from the soil, to get the nourishment from that separation, those Olokun waters, to regulate your nervous system. A lot of animals go into hibernation. This is a form of regulation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of animals just, they move to a different location. We're all magnets. The earth is a magnet. So that's also, recalibrating themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing. You know, when we're in that space and time. Mercury is at its greatest elongation on the 19th. Yes. We also have Mercury considered at dichotomy, which is half phase on the 19th. And then, oh, that's cool. Is that a puzzle piece?
Huh?
That's a puzzle piece?
No, it's for PNG2 where I had played something.
What's the green thing?
The green thing?
Yeah.
That's the Raji's guy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he has to be included now since like he's gonna be the Twitch thing. So far we're meant to use YouTube. The bald guy is just sort of there, I guess. He might be Instagram, I don't know yet. And the spider is Twitter.
Interesting.
So they're all just there. This is the talking thing.
Huh?
This is the talking.
Okay. I like how you did the green dude though. I really like the color layers. Alright, so then we have the 23rd, Mars is entering Aquarius constellation, which is a nice vibe between fire and air happening there. Be mindful with the weather, especially if it's real dry outside. That can constitute for some fires going on around that space and time with Mars Aquarius. Also, your motivation. This is a good time for gut breathing, dragon breaths. We love it here. Also following your gut, aligning your ketters to your Hero Kahuti, enforcing your internal law, knowing when and how to, self-control, confidence, courageousness, bravery, all that fun stuff is there. Aligning your solar plexus chakra to your knowledge. Aligning your solar plexus chakra to your root chakra, as Aquarius is associated with the internal side of your root chakra. So all those different alignments happen there with Mars and Aquarius in alignment. Then we have 26 is Venus and Mercury in conjunction. And they're, between Pisces zodiac. By the 26th, yeah, they're in the Pisces zodiac. Aquarius constellation. So Venus and Mercury is the alignment of the throat and the heart chakra. Speaking what you desire, speaking what you love into existence, compartmentalizing the things that you love and desire and want to design in your space. Also feeling motivated, getting yourself motivated, pumping yourself up around that time is cool too. On the 27th, Mercury will be entering Pisces constellation after that lineup. And then, on the 26th, we have Mercury going in retrograde at 22 degrees Pisces too. So keep an eye out. Well, keep yourself ready. On the 12th, we'll be in the retrograde shadow with Mercury. All right. That's also when Mercury enters Draconic Aries. So you're gonna get pumped up during the shadow, and the retrograde is going to repeat the degrees of Pisces here. And then on the 27th, Ceres, what we nurture, is going to enter Aries, so it's new beginnings there, and that's in the constellation. And the Vesta, our passion, enters Aquarius, so constellation. So now we get more passionate about our awareness, our depth of being, what gets us going in that realm and our uniqueness. And then the sun will also be entering Draconic Aries, coming in the spiritual energy of our experiences, how we exert ourselves, our masculine energy is all in new beginnings. And then that's where we're at with it. So hopefully y'all had y'all pen and paper and y'all was writing stuff down. I gave y'all the whole rundown on February and January. I didn't give y'all everything. Like, I didn't give y'all all the conjunctions and stuff like that, because y'all know I do a daily mathematics and all that stuff anyway, where I'll be giving y'all the rundown, on a day-by-day basis too. But y'all got a lot. Now y'all know the retrogrades, y'all know the transits and all that. So let me give y'all reading and see y'all out. Wasn't bad. 90 minutes. 90 minutes, not too bad.
What?
All right.
Did you hear that?
Hmm?
Did you hear that?
Greg, I've
What?
been thinking about you. Huh?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
It was like a gutter sound.
No. That sound?
No, it was louder.
Oh. I'm gonna do Vedic. Let's see. Now when I do this like this, it doesn't show me the degree. That's okay. That's okay.
What if just brought this stuff to finals later?
I don't know. All right. So my air babies. We'll use that because it fell out. This is Gemini, who will be starting off. Oh, and did I tell you? I told y'all we started the new moon cycle on a 11 day of mastery, and we're starting the next lunar cycle on an 11 day of mastery too, right? So mastering is what this lunar cycle is about on the numerology scale. I'm also an 11 master now, right? Making this about me. But my air babies, you guys are experiencing Jupiter in that expansion and abundance, in that first house of your appearance, community and opportunity, um, in Gemini. Then in the balance and fairness is in the fifth house of creativity. You know, artists. So artists speaking the truth, artists speaking on justice, artists coming out and being the activist, the active, yeah. And Aquarius is on that ninth house, you know, bringing things into wholeness and fruition with that, with the knowledge and the revolutionary energy, and it's fun there. And by the time we start the next lunar cycle, we will have still Jupiter over there, but now in the fifth house. So the expansion and abundance is coming to the artist, the inner child, and people and their creative selves. And then we have Aquarius, real top heavy, with the 12th house of endings and the first house of beginnings in Aquarius, as well as the sun, the moon, Venus, Pallas, Fortune, the North Node, and Mercury. All them placements happening. So my Aquarius is going to have a lot going on, a lot to juggle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of awareness happening there, a lot of meditation happening at that beginning of the next lunar cycle. So make sure you guys are in a space of meditation. Friendships are on the forefront here too. And then who is it? The Libra energy is in that space of 9 and 8. So transformations and giving birth, sensual, sexual energy happening there real heavy on the Libra scale. So being mindful of that too, my air baby. So for you guys, it's all about, creating, being your creative self, being your sensual self, dealing with what you desire, for you guys, and much expansion and abundance happening there for your air placements. Then for my fire placements, you got Leo with the south node in the third house. That's how we're starting off the lunar cycle. So the community, community that we found comfort in, that's from our inner child, is where we coming from. We have Sagittarius being mutable over there. We have Juno there. Like, what we willing to do, we're having a relationship to stay in it, to want it, to desire it, for it to bring us joy. And that's in the seventh house of the bonds and contracts, interpersonal relationships. So it seems like we're really into like our comfort zone with our relationships, with our bonds here with my fire babies. Y'all out here being loyal to the soil. Aries, being a cardinal fire energy, is in Eros too, also in the 11th house. 10th, a little bit of the 10th, also in the 11th house as well, of friendships. So for my fire baby, y'all starting off the energy of your comfort zone relationships, old friendships, old partnerships, old business ships, all the ships, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just in y'all comfort zone with it. A lot of those coming back to you, some nostalgic feeling, and in this last lunar cycle, you're getting a feel for what are some things that I should have did on the first time that I need to work on this time and do something a little different, and what are some things that I should just leave it where it's at, you know what I'm saying? And kudos to you guys for working through that. by the time we get to the end of this lunar cycle, the beginning of the next one, we're going to have that Leo energy. Still got that South Node, but now we have that balance of the seventh house and the sixth house. So you have those interpersonal relationships, and you also have that sense of equality. What you put into those relationships is what you're going to get out. Then we have Aries energy. That's going to be between the second house and the third house of what we value, what we prioritize. Hey, Adonis, and our community happening there. So what we have and who we have, and we have abundance over there in Aries. So a lots of abundance in that second house. Aries, by the time this lunar cycle, the next lunar cycle begins, we're in a super duper space of business, standing on business, doing some business moves in your Aries placement. And then Sagittarius, we have the 10th house of success and achievements, and that 11th house of friendship. And Juno over there in the 11th house reminds us of, like, what are you willing to do in this relationship? What are we willing to do in these bonds of friendship to stay in it? So my fire babies, y'all starting off in relationships and partnerships and friendships and groups and communities. A lot of connectivity happening with my fire babies, and you guys determining during this last lunar cycle and the snake energy, what friendships and bonds and things like that y'all going to stay in, and that's going to show you your abundance at the end of this lunar cycle. That's going to show you, how we standing on business and stuff on the next one, because what you put into those relationships is what you're going to get back out. So be aware of that, especially when Mercury goes in retrograde around that time. The shadow starts on the 12th. I told you. So when the shadow retrograde starts, be mindful of that. These relationships is really about giving yourself a second chance, giving yourself another chance to either let it go or really invest and pour into these spaces. You know what I'm saying? Who I do? I did air. I did fire. Let's do earth. So we start the lunar cycle with can't talk, with Virgo. Virgo in the fourth house, that sense of belonging. My Virgos need a sense of belonging. They need that nurturing energy, being intuitive, going inward. That's heavy on the Virgo energy. The vertex is there. Also, opportunity is there too. So when y'all go inward and y'all nurturing, y'all pour into yourselves, that's when the opportunity is going to come to you. We have our Capricorn energy. Y'all real top heavy. Y'all got a lot going on to the Capricorns. We got the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto over there in Capricorn constellation in the eighth house of transformations and empowerment. So a lot of empowering truths coming out, power couple, people, you realize you start lining up with people that match your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, some type of way, shape, or form. And you guys start to create structures with each other or challenge each other. Twin flames coming through to challenge you, to mirror you, to show you where you at with your shit, and allow that to empower you instead of being like, oh, fuck this, fuck that, cut it off. Allow it to empower you. See yourself in other people, see that authority energy in other people too. You live on YouTube too? Of course I am. Then you come to Taurus energy. Now with Taurus energy, we got a little bit of 11th house of friendships and connectivities. We start this lunar cycle in, and then we have that 12th house of Pisces. Again, coming into nurturing. We in the waters, earth babies. We in the earth. We in the waters, starting off the lunar cycle. It's all about your feelings. How do you feel? Your intuition, your third eye, your sensitivities, regulating the nervous system of earth babies. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about like material, physical, push, push, push. You know what I'm saying? The psyche, Uranus is providing progressive pushes in Taurus. Psyche is over there in Taurus. And then we got the fortune kind of on the cusp between between Taurus and Gemini. But yeah, so Earth babies, you guys start off this lunar cycle in the waters, in your emotions, in your feelings, in your intuition, in your nervous system, in your dreams, your subconscious. You're nurturing yourself. You find that sense of belonging. You're finding that sense of empowerment in the interpersonal relationships, and you're finding that sense of endings, bringing things to a close. Dealing with the transformations, learning how to flow. My Earth babies, we're learning how to flow here. Allowing those waters, because the only thing that can really do something to Earth is water. Earth be having all the jagged edges and stuff, but if you put it in the water for a long period of time, eventually those jagged edges is going to smooth out. All right. So keep that in mind. By the time we end this lunar cycle, We're gonna have that Virgo energy having the vertex there. You know what I'm saying? That attraction there on the seventh house of bonds and contracts, truth, justice happening there. Eighth house of transformations, empowering transformation, standing on business happening there for the Virgo energy. I love that for us. Then we have Capricorn energy having Pluto's transformations in that 11th house of friendships and knowledge, the Ketters, um, our sense of detachment, our revolutionary selves, our unique self, and Pluto's bringing those transformations and empowerment and secrets being revealed and occultism happening there, So some of you guys, cults are coming together and creating the infrastructure of authority. Some of the established cults that have been here since the beginning of time, for centuries, for families, for millennials. You guys are having a transformation of authority happening amongst y'all. You can imagine that would mean certain celebrities, certain politicians, certain judges and lawyers and police officers and random people are going to wake up dead. You want to know why? Because there's a transformation happening there in those lineages, powers of authority, not just in the physical, because I'm sure they'll get replaced in the physical, but also in the spiritual realm. They got to go to the other side, and do whatever they got to do in this spiritual occult. Some of them got to pay the piper. Y'all keep, doing these half-ass altar calls and experiments and whatever, giving the spirits some old ass French fries and shit like that. They like, nah, I want your soul. So now you gotta go over there and do what you gotta do. That's what you get for praying to them niggas for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see certain things like that happening. Um, and that's in the Capricorn realm of the authority and stuff like that. Things coming to a close. We also got Vesta over there, which is the passion of the energy happening there. Mars is also over there, motivation, new beginnings, the fire energy. So a lot of stuff is gonna happen abruptly, just like that. You're not some of how to be like, that's a distraction, that's a distraction. Yeah, it's gonna be like one of them kind of situations because there's gonna be so much happening at once. Like, damn, that person died, that person died, that person died. It's gonna be like one of them type of situations. Then we have Taurus energy, we got the third and fourth house. So now we got, our fixed earth, what we value, prioritize coming to community and a sense of belonging there. And then we have Uranus providing those progressive pushes of opportunity, community, and communication. Eros providing that love, and Psyche providing the mindset of the things, and allow, that Taurus part of self of what I have and what I want and how I feel to be more community oriented, to be more belonging oriented, and less about the stuff with that three and fourth house. So again, my earth babies, you guys are all about doing the internal work, getting more in tune with your emotions, how you feel, what you want, um, stuff like that. Stuff like that. I did everybody, right? Now I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, I didn't do water yet. That's because Earth was water, right? But yeah, as you guys get into with your emotions and things like that, when you flow over into the beginning of the next lunar cycle, you'll be more so into the air and the water now. So now you're coming into that balance of what I know and how I feel. Now, what I know and how I feel should be more cohesive and less this or that. You know what I'm saying? Because now you guys have gotten real in tune with how you feel, which has always been a difficulty for the earth signs because it's all about physical reality for a lot of the earth signs. A lot of earth placements is physical, what's the physical realm's version of value and wealth and love and da 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 da. And so, now get more into your own flow so you can align your intellect with your own flow and not what's been indoctrinated inside of you to want or desire to have. This also is good for you guys getting into some type of like ritualistic spiritual practices and stuff from our earth babies too. All right, so now we're gonna get into water. Last but certainly not least, we're gonna start off with Pisces, y'all. So we start the lunar cycle off with Pisces in the 10th house. So being in the Akashic records, things hidden beneath the horizon, being in your subconscious, your dreams, all that stuff like that. That's where the success is at. You hear me? And we had Saturn and Neptune providing no structure to the things there. We got Ceres nurturing it, giving you that motherly love and hug over there. We got the mothers, the lineage of mothers coming down, and they're raining on you, and it's gold everywhere, and everybody got the big ass wings, and the arms open, and somebody singing Enya. It's beautiful here. Then we also have Chiron here, transmuting those wounds into streams. We have abundance here. Abundance and Chiron are kind of like this too. So as you transmute those wounds into strength, some of you guys, my brain said writing ebooks, doing the podcast, doing the vlogs, doing tell all books, doing the music, releasing. It's about releasing, releasing, releasing. When you release the pain, when you release the trauma, when you learn how to transmute it, not because you want a crowd of victims to feel bad about you, not because you want the crybaby shit, but because you're letting it go. That's where the success is at. That's where the success is at. Not just on the physical realm, but also on spiritual. And we love it here. And then we come into Cancer energy. Cancer energy on the second house. Once again, we standing on business. You know, my water babies, y'all gonna be doing good with standing on business, making business opportunities, grounding yourself, coming into the physical reality. Y'all can't stay in y'all emotions. Well, if the earth babies gotta come into the emotions, my water babies gotta come into the physical. That's what's happening here, basically. Then we have and then we have Scorpio. Scorpio, y'all got Lilith over there bringing y'all to y'all primordial selves in the space of harvest. You know, what really gets you going? What is it that you really want to put into the world? What is it that you really want to receive back? How to organize yourself, you know, find a routine, but with your primordial self, with how you really feel. I'm not talking about that surface water shit that y'all be showing everybody and I'm so powerful and I got this going, I got that going on. Scorpios, y'all really need to organize yourself. You need to regulate yourself. All my Scorpios placements, it's time for regulation. You know what I'm saying? It's time for discipline, because we know Scorpios energy can be with the dramatics. We know them high highs make low lows. We know y'all be doing a little too much. Ground yourself. You know, I know Virgo is not, you know, the fixed Scorpio to the mutable Virgo is kind of shaky there, but you know, that's the easy way to ease it, because we know Scorpio energy don't really like to be bossed around and told what to do. That's the easy way to slip in and be like organize, compartmentalize yourself, be more in your intellectual self and less in what you feel like, because what you feel like keep getting you in trouble. All right. And we're doing it with your Lilith, y'all. We're doing it with your rebellious, your primordial self. This again, we're not talking about that surface shit. Y'all Scorpios like to show off and tell to make yourselves look like the brightest, baddest in the room. I'm talking about that real shit. You know what I'm saying? That stuff y'all be keeping on an insert that people got to find out once they already moved in with you 3 years later. And so by the time we end this lunar cycle and begin the next one, my Scorpio energy, you guys will still have Lilith there, but you'll have and you'll have the ninth house of completion and wholeness. So now y'all got some fire and a little earth. So you got the ninth house and the 10th house. So you got the Sagittarius of expansion and abundance and joy. You get your flowers. You get your flowers from organizing this stuff if you play your cards right. You get that success there. The MC line is over there in Scorpio. So you will get your flowers if you organize yourself right during this lunar cycle. I'm telling you. And then for my Pisces energy, y'all got the first and second house over there. So y'all have that appearance energy, you know what I'm saying, your auric body. And then you have the second house, a little bit of earth, you know, standing on business, that, you know, what we value, what we prioritize is beautiful to us, you know what I'm saying, what we have, and love, facets of love, right? And so Pisces is, you know, y'all move into that space there. And again, you guys still have Saturn, Neptune over there in that constellation series, bringing that nurturing energy, and Chiron over there transmuting those wounds into strength. So we're nurturing the wounds into strength still here. We're still finding structure in our nervous system and our sensitivities, and we're bringing things into a close. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, with the Cancer energy, we have the 5th and 6th house there. So you have that, now you have that blend between, you know, fire, earth. So you guys start off the lunar cycle being in earth. You guys got to ground yourself. You got to be in the physical reality. You have to organize and compartmentalize yourself. You have to learn how to, you know, make structured goals and steps. Earth is all about structure. Earth is limited. It's a lot of limitations with earth, but we love that because we're having a physical experience. We're in a human body. And so sometimes I know water like to flow and flow and flow and flow and then flow some more, and how are we flowing and flowing and flowing. But you guys need that structure too. You can't just be walking around without a skeleton. You're gonna be like a big old jelly ball. You know, that should get tired after a while. We have to put a skeleton into that bag of water. And again, it's going to bring you towards the balance between earth and fire once you're done. So now you're moving into the fire horse energy that we're about to go into when we start in this lunar cycle, and y'all gonna be ready to move forward to pull those wand cards, because now you have the structure that's necessary, and now you have that blend between how I feel and I'm grounding myself in this earthly experience with how I feel, and now I'm in alignment with the not just the laws of metaphysics, not just with the mindset that everything is just out here, but also with the restrictions and the rules of the physics. Physics has rules too, and once you learn how to put them together instead of saying, "Oh, we got to be one over the other," like that cohesiveness, which is what all the signs are going to learn. That cohesiveness is it's going to help y'all take action once you fire starts getting moved into y'all placement. All right. So I don't know why this side of my hand hurt. I don't know what I did. All right, so let's pull this card. Actually, this card fell out. We got the Metamorphosis card. That card fell out. So transformations for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the moon, nurturing those transformations between the moon and Pluto. All right, and then this one was the one I picked, which was the sun and the moon. So our inner peace is here too. All right. So we got transformations and inner peace during the transformations. In other words, don't let what's going on in the outside come in. We have the Queen of Pentacles, you know, being grounded, being in charge, being, on top of what's happening in our physical world is important. We got the reverse Three of Swords. We gotta let go of some of those wounds. I talked about that with y'all. My air babies, you guys dealing with a lot of the water energy towards the end of the lunar cycle. In the beginning, my air baby's gonna be dealing with a lot of fire. So a lot of anger, triggers, impatience, impulsivities, things like that. I want my air babies to be careful with that. And then towards the end of the moon cycle, beginning of the next one, a lot of that fire energy is going to be between the air and the water babies. So again, be careful with those wounds y'all be holding on to, in y'all intellect, in y'all thought process and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And it comes with a level of acceptance of what's going on in your physical experience, acceptance of what you got going on now. A lot of you guys don't think you guys have the resources that you need to do what you desire. You're like, oh no, once I get this, or once I get that, or once I have this, or once this is going on, you already have it though. You literally have everything you need to do something right now. But you keep making up these excuses, you keep making up these reasons, and a lot of that is coming from a wounded place. You had this best idea in the world. You went to go tell it to somebody you trusted. And you may not even remember this. This might be some shit from 3 years old trying to tell your mom or dad, like, I just drew this shit. Look at this. Da, da, da. You hyping yourself up. I'm about to be Picasso. Look, watch this. Basquiat, watch out. And your parent just be like, Or your classmate be like, that's dumb. Or your teacher like, or somebody holding in the laugh or whatever. Like, you might not even remember that exact situation, but you do remember how it made you feel. And it's put you into a space where you're like, we're not flowing, you know what I'm saying? Or we're not going to be grounded in reality, or we're not going to take action, or we're holding grudges in our space. We're not going to let thoughts go. We're not going to let thoughts be the air that they're supposed to be. We're going to try to bottle those thoughts together. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowing the elements to be in their natural self. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has to do with that experience. And that's why we in Aquarius and flowing into the Pisces energy at this point, because we need to be in that awareness of depth of being. And then we also, which is the swords, and we also need to be in those deep waters of Olukun, which is that Pisces energy. This is time to do the inward work. We're moving towards the middle of winter. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to really go inward and do that work. And figure out what those grudges are and learn how to accept yourself. So when we do flow into that fire, when the spring equinox do come and you see the flowers bloom outside, I want you to be a flower too. I don't want you to still be in the mindset of the middle of the winter when spring comes. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be ready when summer comes, not like, oh, next summer I'm gonna do it. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it around maybe next spring. Nah, bro, right now, do the work. Do the work. We also have a tower moment. So yeah, y'all gotta let some stuff go. That's in alignment with the transformations. And make sure you got inner peace during those transformations. Let that shit fall off. And don't let that stuff ignite any old wounds, especially because we have what did I say Kyron was doing? Let me pull out my handy dandy notebook. We talked about this. I said Chiron's retrograde ends. And we've been in retrograde since July 30th. So do your homework. Look at your journals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys had to go through stuff in your Chiron or whatever. And then we got a Mercury retrograde coming up. So a lot of your habits and routines is going to be returning to you now that Chiron is forward. So that's going to create some tower moments. You know, we're in the last lunar cycle of the snake. Some of these snakes, y'all been letting them get away with shit all 365. Y'all was really turning a blind eye to these snakes. Y'all was letting them get away. Y'all was letting them slither. Y'all was letting shit slide. Y'all like, no, I can hold on to them. I can hold on to, especially my fire babies. I seen y'all holding on to old relationships. I see y'all holding on for dear life to keep these different people, places, things, situations around. You know, with the blend of air and earth or whatever. I see y'all gotta let some of this shit go. Let people, places, things, situations, ideas, relationships, let certain things have a tower moment. Those blocks might fall down, and you might be able to use those same exact blocks to build up something different. You know what I'm saying? Or them blocks just not good at all. Or you might just need a whole new foundation with those blocks. Or you might need to, reorganize the blocks. Like you just let it happen. Just let it happen. You never know what's gonna happen. Just accept it. It's okay. And last but certainly not least, partnerships coming into play. You're not alone. Community's coming. Uranus is over there. And Taurus is making its way to Gemini. Jupiter is providing expansion and abundance in Gemini. We actually started off this lunar cycle with Jupiter being in opposition of the top heavy Capricorn planets over there in the constellations. You know what I'm saying? Reminding us the expansion and abundance is in the community and opportunities. Don't get discouraged. If you be in your authenticity, which is what all this Aquarius energy is calling for us anyway, if you be in your authenticity, the right community is going to come and they're going to cultivate and they're going to nurture the things that you got going on. But it's not going to happen if you're not being your authenticity. You're going to keep staying in these spaces. You're going to have to keep moving weird around people and remembering the stuff that you say and putting on your professional voice all the time, or whatever voice it is that you use when you're around people that's not you. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck wants to do that? That's boring. It's hiring. Take the mask off. You know what I'm saying? You don't even got to keep the crown on no more. Like, it's not necessary. Just be you. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't even want to wear crowns. Some of y'all just want to be. And it's okay to just be. Just be yourself. And let the community come through. Let the partnership come through. Let the perfect relationship that's in alignment with what you desire come through. Like, all that stuff's going to come through for you. You just gotta believe. You know what I'm saying? And let some of these snakes fall at the waistline. Yeah, I know for a fact it's a couple people, places, things, situation, ideas y'all still holding on to. Y'all just will not let that shit go. You think you a failure because you let that shit go? You're not a failure. You're really fucking dope. And you're very fucking brave for realizing it's time to let this shit go. And it's time to do something different. It's time to be something different. It's time, and it's not even like I'm trying to do or be something outside of my usual schmusual. It's me. It's me, Jessica. I'm in here. I've always been in here, just waiting. But you keep letting such and such come around, and you can't tell him or her all your business. You gotta hide it, and I can't tell you everything, and I can't confide in you about everything because you're mean, because you're jealous. Why are you keeping people like that around in your space? Why are you holding on to people like that you can't tell everything to, that you can't trust with your wholeness, that you can't trust with your authenticity, that you can't tell your secrets to, that you got over there play telephone with? My mama always said, watch how people treat other people around you, because your ass is next. Don't ever think you exempt from somebody's weird ass bullshit. There's never been a time I thought I was exempt from anybody's weird ass bullshit. I literally knew I was waiting my turn for the weird shit. It was just a matter of when you gonna do it, how you gonna do it, what's gonna be the cause. And sometimes I do shit for the plot. I don't know. Maybe that's a toxic trait. I don't give a fuck. I like to do things for the plot. Otherwise, it's boring. But I know people be on some weird bullshit. I got a good ass mom. My mom taught me a lot of virtues and a lot of psalms. You know what I'm saying? And sunshine be on one, okay? Y'all know sunshine be on one. I don't even know why people be sleeping on me like I'm not an energy awareness coach. I does this naturally. But yeah, some of y'all might do shit for the plot. But how far is that going to get? That's only going to get you, but so far. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I had to have a conversation with myself about too. Like, we can do shit for the plot, for real. But stop letting them people that you doing shit for the plot for into your personal space and trying to build with the motherfuckers. Because you're giving them too much. You're giving them too much. Too much. And so, that's how Sunshine's moving different. I'm pulling the Hermit card and I don't give a fuck. For now. For now. Because I'm in my water space. But that's what I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. For those of you guys that are on TikTok, I am recorded on YouTube, and you guys can come over there and see all the planetary happenings from January to February. I get into it a little bit with the Chinese zodiac, which I'll get into more deeper. I don't know. Once we get closer to the 17th. Y'all know I'm here every Wednesday for the hump day forecast anyway. So we'll keep doing that, and then the daily mathematics. Of course, I'll be getting back on that shortly. But I got a lot going on. I went back to school, so it's a lot going on over here. Give me a second. Um, but yeah, that's what I got for y'all, and I appreciate y'all for tapping in and spending time and energy with your girl. And you know, it's always fun here, and so I won't let you. I won't hold y'all too much longer. So yeah. My laptop falling apart, but don't fall apart too bad, baby. I still need you. Peace, y'all.